Welcome to our Trump Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into the latest on the Gaza conflict where President Trump is calling for a ceasefire, urging Israel and Hamas to find common ground amidst ongoing violence and a worsening humanitarian crisis. With Israeli officials planning visits to Washington and efforts by Arab mediators, there's a glimmer of hope for peace, but challenges remain over hostages and troop withdrawals. Stay tuned as we unpack the key developments in this urgent story. Next, we shift gears to international cyber tensions, where Trump made a surprising revelation about the U.S. hacking China during a recent interview. Highlighting the ongoing trade disputes and cybersecurity concerns, Trump emphasized that both nations are involved in cyber activities, raising questions about the future of U.S.-China relations. It's a high-stakes game of digital diplomacy, and we'll explore what this means for global security. Finally, in Los Angeles, community members are fighting back against immigration enforcement fears. After ICE detained a beloved local, Ambrosio Lozano, support surged with crowdfunding efforts and grassroots protests. As families avoid public spaces and community groups mobilize, this grassroots resistance highlights resilience amid federal crackdowns. We'll look at how local activism is shaping the fight for immigrant rights across the city. Please continue to stay with us for more detailed coverage. The Toronto Star reports a glimmer of hope amid the ongoing Gaza conflict, as U.S. President Donald Trump advocates for a ceasefire, urging Israeli and Hamas leaders to reach an agreement that includes the return of hostages. Trump's social media calls for making the deal in Gaza come at a time when Israel and Hamas seem to be inching closer to negotiations, with Israeli officials planning high-level talks in Washington. Despite these diplomatic efforts, a major obstacle remains: the dispute over how the war should end. Hamas insists on a full Israeli withdrawal and the release of all hostages in exchange for peace, while Israel demands Hamas's disarmament and exile, leading to a deadlock that prolongs suffering in Gaza. The conflict has devastated Gaza's infrastructure, with hospitals barely functioning and thousands of civilians, including children, caught in the crossfire, as Israeli military orders mass evacuations in northern Gaza, further displacing the already vulnerable population. Meanwhile, CBC details the escalating violence on the ground as Israel intensifies its military operations in Gaza. The Israeli Defense Forces have ordered a mass evacuation of northern Gaza, warning residents to move southward toward designated humanitarian zones, but the situation remains perilous, with continued bombardments and casualties mounting. In the early hours, Israeli strikes have destroyed homes and killed civilians, including children, in areas like Jabalia and Khan Yunis. Amid this turmoil, Arab mediators, supported by the U.S., are attempting to broker a ceasefire, emphasizing the importance of ending the war and securing the release of hostages. However, the cycle of violence persists, with Palestinians suffering heavy casualties and loss of life, and the enclave's critical infrastructure collapsing under relentless attack. The ongoing conflict underscores the deep divisions and complex demands from both sides, as international efforts seek to bring peace and halt the humanitarian catastrophe. Yahoo US presents a different perspective, focusing on the societal and political implications of the conflict and American domestic issues. It highlights debates around the happiness disparity between conservatives and liberals, linking it to perceptions of anger and societal engagement. The articles also touch on broader political topics, criticizing the influence of wealth and privilege in American politics, exemplified by Donald Trump's tax strategies and the proposed Republican tax bill favoring the wealthy. The coverage extends to environmental concerns, condemning Iowa's agricultural practices for polluting waterways and increasing cancer risks, and advocating for the protection of Title IX to ensure gender equality in sports. These stories collectively reflect a nation grappling with its internal divisions, economic inequality, and environmental challenges, illustrating how domestic issues intertwine with global crises like the Gaza war, shaping public discourse and policy priorities. The Independent vividly captures the surreal moment when President Donald Trump, during an interview with Maria Bartiromo, boldly suggested that the United States is hacking China, leaving her speechless. Trump, in his characteristic bluntness, challenged the common narrative by asserting, "You don't think we do that to them? We do," implying that such espionage is a reciprocal and accepted part of international relations. He emphasized the complex nature of U.S.-China dealings, noting the large trade deficit and tariffs, yet claimed to maintain a great relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trump's comments reveal his unapologetic stance on aggressive tactics, hinting at the darker underbelly of global diplomacy, where mutual suspicion and covert operations are part of the game. Bartiromo's incredulous questioning underscores the tension between diplomatic decorum and the raw, often unspoken realities of international power struggles, illustrating how Trump's candidness continues to challenge conventional political discourse. Associated Press reports on the political landscape in Northern Virginia, where James Walkinshaw secured the Democratic nomination to succeed the late Congressman Jerry Connolly. Walkinshaw, a seasoned public servant and former chief of staff to Connolly, was seen as the frontrunner, having garnered his endorsement before the incumbent's passing. The primary race, marked by a crowded field of 10 candidates, culminates in a crucial special election set for September 9, in a district known for its Democratic leanings. Meanwhile, Republican Stuart Whitson, an Army veteran and ex-FBI agent, emerged as his challenger, promising to fight to flip the seat. This contest reflects the broader political dynamics at play, an ongoing battle over control of Congress amid shifting allegiances and the shadow of national political tensions. The story underscores the importance of local races in shaping the future of national policy, especially in a district that has been a Democratic stronghold but remains fiercely contested. Yahoo US vividly details the grassroots resistance emerging in Los Angeles against the federal government's aggressive immigration policies. The story centers on Ambrosio Enrique Lozano, a beloved ice cream vendor whose sudden arrest by immigration authorities sparked a wave of community activism. His deserted ice cream cart became a powerful symbol of defiance, galvanizing local residents and online supporters to rally around his family, raising tens of thousands of dollars for legal aid. This grassroots movement has shifted tactics from large-scale protests to localized, neighborhood-based actions, with community members sharing real-time videos of immigration arrests to foster awareness and solidarity. The widespread fear and disruption caused by these raids, empty parking lots, vanished street vendors, and families advised to stay home, highlight a community's resilience and ingenuity in resisting federal enforcement. These efforts, driven by social media and community organizing, demonstrate a new era of localized activism in the face of national immigration crackdowns, transforming fear into collective action and support. The Guardian reports on the fragile political landscape surrounding Zohran Mamdani's recent victory in the New York Democratic mayoral primary. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries expressed cautious skepticism, emphasizing the need for a personal meeting to understand Mamdani's vision and address concerns about his controversial rhetoric, including accusations of anti-Semitism and anti-capitalist sentiments. Jeffries highlighted the importance of convincing communities, especially Jewish constituents, that Mamdani can effectively combat rising anti-Semitism, while also criticizing the broader issue of affordability in America, contrasting Mamdani's campaign focus with President Trump's failure to deliver on promises to reduce costs, thus framing the debate within the larger struggle for economic justice. CNN details the devastating toll of Russia's aerial assault on Ukraine, with Ukrainian pilot First-Class Lieutenant Colonel Maxim Ustimenko tragically killed while attempting to steer his F-16 fighter away from populated areas amid a massive onslaught of drones and missiles. This attack, involving 477 drones and 60 missiles, one of Russia's largest ever, underscores the escalating intensity of the conflict, with Ukraine's defenses strained and its top pilots, including Ustimenko, risking their lives to protect civilians. Zelensky's passionate plea for Western aid and advanced air defense systems like the Patriot highlight Ukraine's urgent need for support, as Russian strikes continue to target both military and civilian infrastructure, leaving casualties and destruction in their wake, while the Ukrainian military claims to have shot down hundreds of enemy drones and missiles. The Independent offers a sobering assessment of Keir Starmer's first year as UK Prime Minister, with historian Sir Anthony Seldon criticizing his leadership as the worst in a century, even worse than Liz Truss's brief tenure. Seldon laments that Starmer entered office without a clear strategy or understanding of his purpose, leading to a shaky start marked by internal rebellions and policy setbacks, particularly over welfare reforms. Despite optimism about future growth and addressing national issues, experts warn that Starmer's lack of a compelling vision has left him vulnerable, with polling indicating low support and a public still uncertain about his stance. The article underscores the broader challenge of establishing strong leadership amid political turbulence, with commentators suggesting that without a clear narrative, Starmer risks further decline, especially as he navigates a fragile political landscape. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.